There are many simple things in the world. Shovels. They are all different. Gardening shovel. Unloading shovel. Children's shovel. But there is also a different shovel. We use it when we come to the position. In short time, it helps us dig a trench which saves us from bullets. If a tank will pass over the trench, there is a high probability that it will not cause any harm to the soldier. We dig in the ground, deeper, and then connect the trenches with our friends to the left. In just a few hours, trenches are all connected. When we do not have an axe, we can use a shovel to cut a loaf of bread. A soldier uses a shovel as a paddle, crossing the wide river under enemy fire. If we run out of ammunition, we will use a shovel again, and then we'll move on. And when we get the order to stop, we'll take a shovel again and build around us an impregnable fortress. This fortress is defended by the army of Ukraine, our army.
A lot of people look at us as robots or just out doing a job, but everything we see and do affects us just like it does everybody else.
A lot of problems with first responders and veterans is that now we're in a battlefield that's very different.
I've lost more friends to suicide than I did in combat, and it really hurts.
When you push the human envelope to those maximum extents, physically, psychologically, emotionally, and spiritually, and then you pull that plug, nothing prepares you for the silence. Nothing prepares you for that void.
You can't come that close to death without it having some effect on you.
I'll never forget my wife telling me, you know, you're not the same Brett that I married.
What War Horses does is it puts you in that environment to, in essence, look in the mirror. But that mirror's that horse. And that horse is going to tell you where you're at.
You got to relax. You got to calm down. You got to slow your mind down and just think about this one thing, controlling that horse.
The first thing we do before we get on a horse, we breathe. To let go of everything. Let go of everything in your head. If I don't let go of everything, I cannot be present with the horse.
It's magic. I just started crying. It was the first time in my life that I literally let everything go.
Compassion, generosity, love, all of these things trickle back into what it is to be a human being.
It's completely changed me.
All the confidence I had lost, it started coming back working with these horses. They've given me my life back.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Do you ever have one of those moments where you think, how the hell did I get here? Jeez, what happened to me? I was ruling the galaxy. Had a cherry new battle station. I mean, this place had an omelet bar. A straight moments. That was my out.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
This is a public service announcement from C.T. Fletcher. I will not contribute to the pussification of a nation. Get your punk ass out there and work for it, motherfucker.
Let's roll.
I'm your host. I got the shipwreck in the gunner seat.
Yep.
Man.
I'm ready to shoot stuff down. You?
You're ready to shoot stuff down, right?
I'm in the gunner seat, so I'm logging road.
That must be the yeah, exactly. That's the new thing happening right now is that we're getting a lot of shit getting shot down. You're shooting the shit out of the sky, right? Ah, man.
Or we're shooting the shit in the smoke pit, you know.
Oh, right. Exactly. What the smoke
the
pit,
weekly
man?
show.
Man.
It's one of the two.
Yeah, the smoke pit. They're laying. All the shows. So hope everybody had a good weekend. Tomorrow is what's tomorrow? Tomorrow's the Happy Valentine's Day for tomorrow. So hopefully, you guys got. I don't know. I'm kind of seeing the back and forth about Valentine's Day. So I saw somebody say they called it Galentine's Day, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? I guess that's where women are getting together and saying, hey, we don't want to go by the model of Valentine's Day, so they call it Galentine's Day. I don't know. I think personally, every day should be Valentine's Day, right? Don't you think every day should be every day you should be giving and acting like every day is Valentine's Day.
I know I'm a true gentleman. I look out for my family and wife every day.
I'm about to say, sometimes that's what it is. It's that gentlemanly thing, right? Chivalry, right? All that stuff, fucking say, hey, how's it, whatever. Oh, tomorrow's your 21st, your son's 21st. Well, happy birthday to the little guy. Well, he's not little guy. He's 21 years old. So I had to tell him I said happy birthday. Tell him I'll give him a shout out because I'm not going to be on air.
Well, we know what he's going to be doing tomorrow.
Yeah. Buy him his fruit. What are you talking about, man? It's Heath. Knowing Heath, well, I shouldn't say that. I will retract that statement because I don't want.
21. So
yeah, he'll be 21. Exactly. Let's see. So.
Wait, I don't know where he done it.
Sports Bar already in the chats trying to mess around. The WTF Nation Radio is going to be offering a heart-shaped hot air balloon on rides over the United States for Valentine's Day. Man, we just shoot things at the sky. I love it. Man, I haven't seen our military defend the homeland like this in a while. Well, actually, never. I mean, shit, since 9/11, right? We literally had, we literally had like freaking, I don't know, about over 20 years ago. We were about ready to blow an airliner out of the fucking sky, and now we're like too timid to blow shit down. And now we're blowing shit out of the sky again. That's what I'm talking about.
Unknown objects out of the sky.
I know exactly. You know what? What if aliens are like really trying to conduct first contact? They're really trying, right? First contact was conducted according to legend in 2063 with the Vulcans. The Vulcans came down, and around April, I think, and they came down to Bozeman, Montana. Well, guess what? Montana was the first one that sighted our said balloons. Nine, Luftballons. So anyways, so I think it's kind of freaking, okay. So, real quick, I just want to give a shout out to the Sports Bar. Last night, if you saw the show, the Sports Bar during their halftime event / show for can we say that now? Can we get in trouble? Do we have to beep that? So the special game, yeah. Can we say that? Anyways, last night was a first. That was a test on tech. A test on tech to have a remote. It was a remote show. It was, believe it or not, that show was done remotely. Although it was done remotely at CQ's house, it wasn't done to the standard broadcasting practices that we did, and we were just testing out some tech. So I just want to bust out some congratulations to King Smith and CQ and the coach for setting it all up. And actually, like I said, if you didn't see the Sports Bar last night, you'd be impressed. It was pretty cool. I liked it. Tonight we got Buck Waid and Chuck Eastman from Stop Soldier Suicide. It's going to be a good conversation. Everybody knows how, we've had discussions about, preventing suicide. God, man, I can't talk. I need to like stop drinking Baileys and coffee before the Monday edition. Thursdays is Whataburger, Coke, and then like coffee is like for Monday. But did the Browns win? No, they did not. So yeah, again, so they're gonna come on and shoot the shit and talk about how technology is assisting families to get closure. I'm gonna tell you what, it's I've seen some of the episodes. I saw it on the news. A friend of mine linked me up with Buck, and looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. So yes, no, okay. The game last night, the Chiefs won. So I guess we say congratulate. Do we care? Do we?
I was wrong on my prediction.
You were wrong in your prediction. You thought the Eagles were going to win.
Wrong. Yeah, I really thought they would, but
okay.
I admit to my being wrong.
That's all right. Nothing wrong with that. I didn't care. I didn't care who won. I just hope whoever won had. I just thought it was a good game. Thought it was a good game. I thought that Rihanna owning all the show didn't bring any guest stars, didn't bring any else to dance, and she pew pew. Everyone's like, if you kept up on most artists and most pop culture things and stuff like that, like me and CQ always send each other DMs about crazy shit, like stuff that has to do with pop culture. Hey, did you hear about this? Or hey, blah blah. So I kind of already knew that Rihanna was knocked up, or she's pregnant. And everyone's kind of like going,
that was their special guest.
Yeah, they were like, oh, what's going on? She's looking like what? And I'm like thinking, she's looking like what? What are you trying to say? She's looking like what? What are you trying to say? If you knew if you follow Rihanna and you listen to her music, you would know that she was pregnant. And so she was out there doing that stuff while pregnant. I just thought it was pretty cool. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
that was a good. It was, again, it wasn't a big. Again, going back and forth the controversy about a blown call or whatever. I kind of don't care. That's just win some, lose some, I guess. Everyone's saying that the NFL's fixed anyway, so I know everyone was going back and forth the game. But then again, it was like Philadelphia blew a lead. I'm gonna tell you what, it was like freaking. I bet you the guy was like, "Please don't." Yeah, exactly that, Holly. She was wearing her clothes. She was fully clothed. So.
Have you seen the memes around with that halftime show?
Oh yeah, the Super Mario, and then the one we posted, the one about looking like a lobster, how a lobster looks like when you look at the store or something like that. You talking about that meme?
Oh, I saw the ones where we're talking about blimps, a whole bunch of blimps everywhere, and then
that be able to, yeah, exactly. Oh, you're talking about the meme about the shoot downs and stuff like that, because we're going to get into that in a minute.
But also, there was a meme saying all those specimens were making their way up to the canal to pregnate,
Oh yeah, because the dancers, they were like sperm, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
they were like sperm or some shit.
Around,
yeah.
And then slowly got smaller and smaller up to her.
Hey,
and she has to be pregnant,
I'm gonna tell you what.
Funny meme.
Sports bar's already dropping jokes. Rihanna's baby has been in more Super Bowls than Jets, Cowboys, and Browns have since Clinton been in office. They were all white blood cells. So that means she was a Rona. Ooh, that's a good theory there, Cos. She was Rona, and the rest of them were white blood cells. Ooh, man, that's deep. That's a deep one right there. That's kind of wow. And then you too. Did you see the commercials? What'd you think of the Super Bowl commercials? Did you think they were pretty cool?
To be honest, I didn't get to watch as many as I wanted to. Life events and stuff.
I hear you.
But there was one commercial, and I think it was for Krispy Kreme, or it was some donut place, right? And I had to go back and play it again, right? Because
Dunkin' Donuts one with Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez.
Dunkin' Donuts one, yeah, Ben Affleck and all that.
Yeah.
I had to go back and listen to it because we know Mom, right? Who's her team? Mom's team is what?
The Bengals.
The Bengals or Bengals?
Yeah, the Bengals.
So I have to go back and re-listen because it sounded like he said, "Where's the Bengals?"
Oh, instead of saying, "Where are the Bengals?" Yeah, you know what?
Yeah. So I had to go back and hear that, and I'm like, damn.
Well, there was one that
gonna get pissed.
there was one commercial that you two had, and they were all like launching balloons everywhere. And I'm like thinking, with all these balloons getting shot down, if this is part of a viral marketing campaign, Bono needs to be yeeted into the sun. Just stop. You know what I mean? The Bud Light VA commercial. Yeah. The music, dude. The hold music, Sato, the VA, enterprise network stuff that you use when you call for a trouble ticket in DoD, when you're calling the S6, all had that hold music. They were dancing and stuff like that. That was a good commercial too. Now, here's some things here about that kind of got movie trailers. Did you see any of the movie trailers?
No, I didn't.
Okay. So now there's going to be a new Fast and Furious movie where The Rock plays The Rock, beating The Rock and against The Rock, cuts like Fast and Rock and Furious or something like that. I'm just kidding. It's not that. I'm just
actually kind of why.
It's just joking. I'm just joking. It's like they got
but
it's
a
all
real movie like that'd be funny.
Yeah, it's like, holy crap, dude. I get having a long, and here that's the thing. I can't shit talk the Fast and the Furious saga about how many movies there are when I am a Star Wars fanatic that's got like movies, comics, stories, little short movies. So I can't talk shit. I can't talk shit about everyone's appeal to the Fast and Furious franchise because, Star Wars, because of Star Wars. I can't shit. So Guardians of the Galaxy, they got a trailer coming out. The one that I was like, holy shit. And I was just telling this to CQ and the team earlier. The Flash, dude. Did you see the freaking trailer for The Flash?
No, but I heard it was a interesting object on it.
I'm gonna tell you what. I'm not spoiling here, so if you watched the game, you saw the trailer. Batman, Zod, Supergirl, dude. I was kind of like saying, hey, no wonder DC guys didn't want to fucking cancel the movie. They didn't want to cancel it because of who they advanced. I said because the lead actor playing the Flash, Ezra Miller, who's got a bunch of drama in his personal life, that everyone just kind of like, let's let all that drama, kidnapping and also the shit that he did. Let's just let that shit blow by. I think they should CG his face out of it. I think they should get another actor and CG Ezra Miller's performance and just put another face on there. Just put like a no name. Just call it AI Flash or some shit. The AI because that was awesome to see. I'm gonna tell you what, I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence, man. Seeing freaking Ben Affleck's Batman, Michael Keaton's Batman, Michael Shannon's. There's a lot of Michaels. Did I say that? Ben Affleck? Yeah, okay. Not Michael Affleck. Michael Shannon is Zod. Bro. I was like, holy shit, this is going to be. And then I'm just like, okay, Ezra Miller, dude's been busted for doing some shady ass shit, and he's got busted in I don't know, man. Is he canceled? Is he not canceled? Is there certain things that he can do? Is he like Epstein, like, you can't touch him? 10 foot tall? AI Mr. Bean's face? Yeah, exactly. So I'm kind of on the fence, man. I mean, he got busted for kidnapping a chick and fucking torturing her and doing some crazy ass shit and just doing some off the wall stuff. Probably while we was shooting his movie, and I don't know, man. It's just kind of like, we giving this guy a chance? This guy's okay. It's almost as bad as Alec Baldwin continuing to finish the movie Rust. Like, he wants to finish the movie, even though he busted a cap in the freaking cinematographer. And I'm just like, oh my god, dude. Yeah, Zod, dude. I'm sorry, I'm a big that Man of Steel, Snyder universe or Snyder directed movie. I like that shit. It was pretty good. He didn't. Yeah, exactly. He didn't get the cancel culture. Exactly. He didn't get it.
So far.
So yeah. Well, I don't know, man. People were making a big deal about it. Even the fucking DC boss was like, yeah, look at this. Blah blah blah. I even posted a meme of Ezra Miller wearing a freaking ankle monitor. I don't know if he blocked me yet, but I'm just saying. And then what was the other? What was the Indiana Jones?
Wasn't that noticeable unless you zoomed in though?
I was joking
on the monitor. Yeah, I
was joking. Then there's Indiana Jones, man. Come on, bro. This looks like a Dial of Destiny or something like that. It's gonna be I think it's gonna be a good flick. I think it's gonna be. Sorry, I'm an Indiana Jones fan, so again, I can't rag on the Fast franchise, how many movies they got, when there's a bunch of Star Wars movies out there. So I can't say that. You know what I mean? I can't. I got to be cool, even though everything's all about family. Family. I am Groot. Exactly.
Ooh, that was a good one.
Right. So, well, man, I'm about ready to talk about that, Pookie. I don't know if CQ's going to talk about it because it has something to do with the whatchahoos. It's pop culture, but can we talk about pop culture stuff a little bit without?
No. Hopefully he doesn't call in and tell us, hush hush.
Yeah, he better shut up or something like that. I don't have phone lines open, so I would be all right.
Oh, then we're good. Then we're good.
Hogwarts Legacy. Hogwarts Legacy. That's the game that everyone's making a big drama about because of what the. I don't know. I don't take care. I don't take the message. I don't know if I'm not. No, let's put it this way. And this may make some people feel better, but I don't care if it doesn't or not. But I'm not a Harry Potter fan. The kids watched it. Kids liked going and stuff. They read the books. Mr. Potter, everything, whatever. Right.
Right.
I'm not a Potter fan, so I don't get. I don't want to say I don't care, but it's not a whatever. So everyone's gonna make a big deal about me saying that, but I don't care. But it's a video game. You're gonna have people talking about, oh, it's so offensive and slaughtering and genocide and blah blah blah. And I'm like, man, have you played Call of Duty? There's a level on Call of Duty called No Russian. And let me tell you, once you watch that, you're like, or actually you play the game, then you're like, woo, which is the premise of the game for I think it was Modern Warfare 2, where you're playing a rogue, you're playing an agent to make it seem like the Americans conducted a massacre in Moscow, which of course Operation Red Dawn happens when they invade Washington D.C. It's all Call of Duty. I'm not throwing any fucking or Grand Theft Auto exactly. Hey, real quick, I got an update on the Turkey earthquake. It looks like we got 31,643 confirmed dead in Turkey and 4,574 in Syria. Jesus, dude. Holy crap. That's a lot. That is a lot. That's nuts. No Russians coming back with the next update. Maybe No Russian should be like the Call of Duty down DLC, the downloadable map. Because right now it had called shoot the house and then shoot and shipment. So you had to shoot the shipment and shoot the house, overlapping, alternating maps, and now it's back to shipment. So now you're playing that stuff again. So, but at any rate, what was I gonna say? What were we talking about? Oh, yeah, the game. Yeah, I want to freaking talk about the game that everyone's making a big deal about, but it's not a big deal. It's like, don't buy it. If you don't like something that you think supports or doesn't support something that you believe in the cause in, then don't get it. Or scroll. You ever notice that when people are like, oh, I don't like that Facebook page, or I want to get this, scroll it. Nothing wrong with scrolling by and checking it out. So just check it. Just kind of like, I don't know.
Did they have a blimp this year?
The Super Bowl? I don't know, dude. I don't know.
Or they were told not to fly low with a blimp.
They were probably saying, hey, don't. There was probably like a restricted airspace in around the Super Bowl, and anybody who came by probably got blasted. But you kind of noticed that one thing about the Super Bowl, the flyover was all done by all female combat pilots, women combat pilots, female, women, whatever you want to call it. They were all women.
And they were the F-22s, correct?
They were actually, check this out. Now here's something that I found kind of interesting, and I'm not trying to heap into some conspiracy theories here. Hang on. But they were flying aircraft that would have been been able to break off and intercept anything that would come across the Super Bowl. I'm just saying. So they were flying a Growler, which is an electronic warfare aircraft, a couple of fighters. So I'm just kind of like, yeah. And they didn't crash. Oh man, come on, dude. I don't know. I didn't even pay attention. I just saw the flyover and I didn't even know if it was choreographed. You guys are just busting balls. So it was 20. You guys. Well, somebody said that the stadium was covered So something like that, and I could have sworn I saw some images. Hang on, let me see that. Let's
I think it was one of those covered stadiums that has the part that slides out.
let me just hang on. Let me trust but verify here. Let me just see what. Let me see. Flyover Super Bowl. Well, we'll put this on the screen, shit like that. So everyone said it was open. So let's see.
It was a closed indoor one, but it had one of those sliding parts that you can slide open.
Yeah, exactly. The roof was opened like that, so you could see it and all that stuff. So I don't know. They're gonna go back and go shoot some UFOs. Hang on, let me find some good imagery of the flyover. Because they flew. It was like an EF-18 Growler, which is like an electronic warfare jet, an F-35, a couple of F-35s. That was pretty badass, dude. I think it's pretty cool. I don't think they were. Let's see. I don't think they had a. Let me look. There we go. Let me pull the window cap up. Let me grab the window cap. There we go. There we go. I think I got it. So these are some of the flyover stuff. So there we go. So there it is. There was you see the F-35 right there. There's a couple of, let's see, it looks like some F-18s there. There was a Growler there. So that one with the stripe with the red tail right there, that's a Growler. That's an electronic warfare jamming F-18 or EF-18 or something like that. They call it like that. What's up, Raymond? Have an outstanding week. So that's what they had. So again, that's pretty freaking cool. Again, it was I wouldn't say it was an overly eventful fucking Super Bowl, but it was not a big deal Super Bowl. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? I think it's cool. All women Super Bowl flyover. Hey, look, the more firsts we have, the more where things become normal. As long as, once we start having all these firsts, everyone's first this, first that, psh, and it's built into normalcy. And that's what I'm talking about. That's what it's all about.
Totally agree on that.
Yep. So let's see, someone another video in here. Somebody sent about the flyover here. No, I already covered that. Duffel posted that NORAD is still trying to confirm there was a balloon because it was an all-female crewed Chinese spy balloon.
Damn.
Duffel is savage, man. So let's get in the conversation of going back and forth of so far we've speaking of shoot downs and balloons and all that. We're like on 4 birds now.
4 or 5?
Is it? That's 4. Right now I got 4. 4 birds, 4 bogeys. 4 bogeys have been shot down, have been eliminated. Somebody said decommission. I'm thinking, if you're trying to make it sound like killing something is not, I don't know, it's like sterile or something like that, or you're trying to make it clinical or whatever, it's killing. You didn't decommission. Oh, 5. Okay. Oh, there was another one shot down. All right, 5. There we go. God dang, 5.
Yeah, within the last 8 or 9 days.
Yeah, dude.
But here's something ironic, right? Go pull up the map of the original big giant blimp, right?
Mm-hmm.
And draw the line, and then draw all the line where all the other objects were shot out of the sky. And it's on the same trajectory path of the very large first one.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you.
Coincidence. It's just a coincidence.
You want to talk about coincidence? What I think, since we're going that route,
okay,
is I think that big balloon that was 200 feet tall that had that huge triple bus sized array hanging underneath it. The mothership, exactly that. I think it was a mothership, and the little ones that were shooting were the ones that popped off of it. Like,
yeah,
it was releasing other vehicles. You know what I mean? It was like releasing other, and so, but all them kills.
But they claim to say that the only reason why they're seeing more objects now is because they changed their AI and radar and all this stuff to pick up different objects and be more sensitive, I guess. So I think they were saying on the press briefs.
That's what they're saying is like we have to update our stuff. So Yeah, like Independence Day, exactly that. Or Cloverfield. I'm waiting for one. I'm waiting for a monster to, a kaiju, to start fucking up a city.
But they've already ruled out that it's not aliens.
Yeah, that's what they're
They've already
saying.
ruled that out.
They've already ruled out that it's not even aliens.
I still say that's possible leading up to the aliens, and that the current administration comes in and saves the day for the next election period because they were proactive.
Do you think that this administration would be that shallow to be like that? To hold off on a disaster, holding off information on disaster, and then they come in and save the day? Is that what you're trying to say? Are you?
Yep.
Are you trying to say that? Are you trying to say that the administration is using this opportunity because they don't want to let a crisis go to waste? That if one of these balloons are like freaking,
and get you off of listening to what's going on in the government right now with the possible current administration issues that can come out later. So it's nothing but a distraction.
You think so? Everyone's talking about a distraction.
Yeah, it's a distraction.
They're exactly that. They are the legit. They are the literal. That's a literal meaning of illegal aliens, Donald. Oh man. So one of the images that we had is that something that I got kind of a beef with is this I do. I actually, I kind of have a beef on this. This is kind of one of my things that I'm like, really, dude. Now I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna window cap this. I'm gonna show you this vid right here, and this is what the national security spokesperson for.
But we were able to determine that China has a high-altitude balloon program for intelligence collection that's connected to the People's Liberation Army. It was operating during the previous administration, but they did not detect it. We detected it. We tracked it. And we have been carefully studying it to learn as much as we can. We know that these PRC surveillance balloons have crossed over dozens of countries on multiple continents around the world, including some of our closest allies and partners. We assessed that at this time, these balloons have provided limited additive capabilities to the PRC's other intelligence platforms used over the United States. But in the future, if the PRC continues to advance this technology, it certainly could become more valuable to them.
Wow. So until we saw it, right? Is that what they're trying to say? Are they trying to lay claim?
But we were able to determine.
They're trying to say. Are they trying to say that? Now here's the thing. Here's the thing right now, man.
They're flipping the scripts. They're just flipping the script.
They're just flipping the script, because I'll be honest with you. There's reports out there, rumors out there that have been refuted by former members of the administration that are saying that this is not out there, that people were saying that the last administration knew about it, but wasn't told. They didn't tell the president at the time, President Trump, because they didn't want to upset him, or they didn't want him to be too provocative, right? And now all of a sudden these guys are saying they didn't detect it, we detected it, but we tracked it. So make up your fucking mind. If there's members of the military or members of the last administration that withheld information from President Trump, there needs to be fucking hearings. Because if they knew about it all fucking long, and then they say, but they did not detect it, but we detected it, and we tracked it, which I call bullshit again. Nobody knew about these freaking balloons until some dude in Montana said, oh, what is this? And he's looking at his phone. Look at that, filming this shit. Nobody knew about it. We would have been none the wiser. It could have dropped a hypersonic missile. It could have activated an EMP. Somebody was going back and forth saying you need a nuke. I'm like, no. I'm geeky enough to know that you don't need it. You could drop it off. China has been developing balloons to drop rigs off of, to have their rigs drop missiles, to drop weapons. They've been doing it all fucking along. Low fucking tech. It's so fucking low tech that our low tech couldn't detect it.
It reminds me of World War II, where they used the planes and dropped them out of the pilot seat.
Yeah. It's like right now. There's some Chinese balloon operator going, holy shit, they busted me. What am I gonna do? Well, and they even said before, because NORAD said that it was it was maneuverable. And I'm gonna tell you what. If members of the previous administration that are now currently working in this administration that hated the last guy, that hated Donald Trump, that are now saying, oh, we knew about it, but we just didn't want to say anything about it, I got a problem with that. Because, I'll be honest with you, as a matter of fact, the only person that I've seen speaking about it, and I can't believe I'm saying this, is the Canadian President. Justin Trudeau has been the only leader that has talked about this. You notice there's been pressers with NORAD, pressers with Kirby, pressers with, what's her name, King Jean-Pierre, KJP is what everybody calls her, the White House spokesperson. Everyone's been talking, but our president, our leader. So literally the populace is watching an air war or an intercepting of aircraft or things,
from who knows where.
And from who knows where, exactly that. And Justin Trudeau said, yep, we shot them shits down and it crashed in the Yukon. Our president isn't saying anything. I was kind of like waiting for the unifier and the guy who likes to bring everybody together who, come on, folks. I'm going to get this done, folks. Hey, people. Hey, folks. All that shit, I'm going to tell you what, I have not seen it. I've been waiting for my fellow American speech to be right there. We interrupt this program to give you a special news bulletin from... Do you know you could do with the fucking aluminum tube? Exactly that, Pip. You're right there ahead of me, man. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States. We shot some shit down. It was from China and blah, 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 blah. A simple statement. Because I guarantee it. You know what? There's air. You know what? Let me just rewind this. Back in January 6th, we seen text messages during the January 6th commission of text messages of everyone saying, get the president out front. The president needs to talk about this. The president needs to discuss what's going on at the Capitol. The president this, the president that. He needs to get out in front of this. He needs to assure that the American people that they blah, 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 right?
You're saying there's a double standard?
Oh, fuck yeah, there's a double standard. I'm not seeing anybody throwing text messages or saying anything about that. Oh, he doesn't have to answer to fucking everything he has to say. Yeah, incursions into our airspace, I'm going to have to fucking say, this is where the president needs to speak. If I voted for the fucking guy and I wanted him to fucking talk, I want him to say, to assure me as a voter and an American citizen that everything's going to be okay and we're not under attack.
Build confidence, help out with foreign affairs, that we don't put up with shit.
Don't drop that cake. That's right. That's right. Oh man, I love that. I love that comedian. Don't drop that shit. Holla, 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 holla. Let me holla at you. Holla, holla, holla. Don't drop that shit. The yellow cake. I would want. This is his moment. This is his moment to walk out to the American people and say blah 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 blah. Now, everyone says the Canadians are telling our soldiers how to do this. The Canadians are directing our fighters. No, they are not. There's an organization called NORAD. Believe it or not, and it's a joint command that's responsible for taking care of our, how do I say this? Our sovereign airspace. They're early detection. They also track Santa, nukes, stuff like that. Name it. Right? They
even help Canada with our Air Force to blow stuff out of the sky for them.
Right, yeah, dude. Well, see, that's the thing. My biggest point is that you need to understand that NORAD is a command that's doing the directing. It's not just Justin Trudeau. And Justin Trudeau's not going, let's launch. He's not directing American pilots to do shit. It's NORAD. And so we train exactly that. We train with our Canadian partners left and right. The commander of NORAD is General Glenn Van Herk. And the deputy commanding general is a Canadian officer, a Lieutenant General Alien Pelletier. Sorry. So, Pelletier. So, exactly that, Josiah. The thing. Something, man. Something from our leadership to say something. Because this is a big fucking deal. Isn't that what he said to Barack Obama one time? There's a big fucking deal. And it was really like nothing, but it was like this is a big fucking deal. So a Canadian officer is the deputy commanding general of NORAD, the North American Aerospace Defense Command and United States Northern Command. They take care of us. So it's a joint command. So literally these individuals have one lines to the presidents of their country, of the respective countries, the US and Canada and whatever joint individuals we have in the command. So everyone is like, the Canadians are just doing what the fuck they want, telling our ships. No, they're not telling our ships what to do.
No, they're not.
Everyone's like, oh, fucking, the Canadians are doing this. Hey, I'm gonna tell you what, at least the fucking Canadians are doing something, and they have their leader talking about it. Our leadership is depending on public affairs individuals and little pressers here and there. I want to hear it from the big guy, no pun intended. I want to hear it from the boss. I wanted to hear it from our commander-in-chief. I wanted to hear from our president of the United States. I want him to say it. I want him to tell us what's going on.
Our big guy's having trouble rolling out of bed.
Yeah, but our big guy's not even talking. He's talking about other shit. And he's just walking around, running away from reporters and stuff.
Eating ice cream and popping
Eating ice cream. Yeah, red flag this year. They're going to call it balloon flag. That's what I said before. So I'm surprised Trudeau didn't do anything. Hey, look. Trudeau's like, fuck this. So that's my beef. That's my rant right now. Is it a big deal? Yes. Especially when we're firing ordnance over Americans' heads? Yes. Sorry. Just that's the way it is. I'm sorry. This is a simple comms messaging program of the president walking out. Hell, you just give him fucking notes, because that's what he does anyways. He gets notes all the time. You ever seen him like when he's talking and shit like that?
Mm-hmm.
It's a cause. He hasn't learned his lines yet. Yeah, exactly. It's fucking frustrating, dude. It is. It's just like
it's Hollywood at its finest.
It's like,
right
dude,
there.
just do so. Just come out to the public. Don't use talking heads. Don't use whatever. Don't use guys that twist. Oh, we found it. No, we did not. Some dude in Montana found it. And again, if anybody in the administration now that worked in the previous administration didn't tell President Trump what was happening, then I think it should be there should be hearings. Fuck it. If you don't think it's a fucking big deal about what's all happening and the president I'm talking about, then I guess J6 isn't a big deal either. Because I know that rubs a lot of people wrong when you start arguing about J6. So
anything rubs going wrong these days.
Yeah, really. Dan says he could be the Prime Minister of Canada. I don't doubt it. I don't know, man. You're not the kind of person that mandated a jab, though. He's pretty. The president of Canada is kind of like. So, again, you can have all the shit talking you want. You can have all the pressers you want. You can have all the pundits and everybody give opinions and talk about what the thing is. But I'm not hearing it from the man. I'm not hearing from the sink, the commander-in-chief. I'm not hearing it from him. If I have to get my information on what's going on in North America by Justin Trudeau, there's a fucking issue. Sad to say.
True.
So that was my. What else? What other drama we got going on? What's the beast? So that's my issue with this whole shoot down stuff. I need to be put at ease. I'm a concerned citizen. I need to be put at ease. I need to know what's going on. I need to know that I need to be getting my information from a Canadian who's telling his people what's going on, when I can just have an American tell what's going on. We'll make a new NORAD.
Always better to get American from foreign countries.
It's just sad. It's just and the thing is that it's okay. Again, like I said last week, man, it's because he's a net. It's okay to say he's fucking up. Then we got the shit going on in Ohio. We'll just go ahead and just burn this off so that way it doesn't explode. And meanwhile, a big ass fucking mushroom cloud of toxic material is just eating up the fucking atmosphere.
No, you don't say.
Dude, I'm sorry, man. It's just one of those things to where I kind of I don't know what else to say. I just so
I'm waiting for all the tree huggers now.
You're waiting for all the tree huggers? What's that?
Yeah, I'm waiting for all the tree huggers to call you in now.
Oh, man.
Man. What else is happening?
Nord Stream. Everyone's talking about Nord Stream. We blew it up. People are like walking around saying it's it's funny when it comes to something that's going to bring us to a brink of war. Individuals are kind of like alluding to it about Nord Stream, like we blew it up or something like that. And all those conspiracy theories are going about that. And I think why would you say some shit like that?
Just like people are saying that there's ships in international waters that keep getting closer to us. So I don't know if that's true or not. I'm still trying to figure that out. But.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like, I'll be honest with you, we could just do the math here, and usually the ones that their denial or their shit talking is usually an underlying confession. You know what I mean? Shouldn't the Space Force be in charge of this clusterfuck, not the Air Force? The first real life mission, and they fucked it up. What are you talking about? Wait.
No. Space Force
is in space.
Atmosphere.
Yeah, it's above the atmosphere, right? Isn't that what Space Force is all about? I need to get what's this? I got one of the guy. I need to get Buzz, one of the admins from fucking U.S. Space Force WTF moments, and maybe he can enlighten us on what the deal is on. Maybe we just have a talk with him, just shoot the shit with him, and say, hey, Space Force stuff. A delineation of authorities between Space Force and Air Force. I'll be honest with you, I think the Air Force is doing pretty fucking good shooting shit down. So. Anyways, so let's see what else we got. I think that's it. I think we got a few minutes here before we got our. Oh, I already see one of our guests is in the green room, just looking at it, just staring at me. It looks like it's Buck. Hey, what's up, man? I see you. I know the audience isn't seeing you yet, Buck, but we see you. Let's see. It was outer atmosphere, gray area. I don't know. I'm not a space guy. I've never flown up into the darkness of space, so where I could see the curvature of the Earth. I've never seen something like that. I've always been up at 37,000 feet or something like that, flying in an airliner or deploying or something like that, or 1350 exiting a bird at high performance, ensuring I to conduct a proper parachute landing fall. So,
well, I think there's only been one person, man, has actually gone the highest to the outer limits of Earth and space, and
that was that Red Bull. The Red Bull guy, yeah, Bumgardner or whatever I think his name is.
If you watch his live feed cam, you can actually see the Earth rotating.
Yeah, he broke the freaking sound barrier, man. That's what I'm talking about. So, I mean, what more?
Talking about balls of steel.
No, I would so do it. I would probably mess it up. You know how I don't know. Just when you see something like, yeah, I can ride a skateboard like that, and then you attempt it in your front yard, and then you go down the driveway and you bust your butt, and your kids laugh at you because they see you, and they're like, okay, I thought I could do it. I could probably try it, but then we'll see what happens.
And then you're on YouTube with 500 million views.
Yeah, exactly that. It's the splat that gets the attention, not the fall. Anyways, so we're gonna go ahead and take a break right quick. We already got we got our guests in the green room. That's what I'm talking about already. And so they're sitting there looking at me. Hope you guys got your beer. Anyways, so 9,000 cheeseburgers, AGO at a controlled descent. That's right. Props to the F-22 pilot. Exactly that. And to the F-16 pilot. It was an F-16 pilot that shot down the one over Lake Huron. So, anywho, we can take a break right quick, and then I'm gonna shoot the breeze with our guests before we get set up. So, shots. So everyone, thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you in a minute. See you, shots.
What is this Facebook Live? I've never heard of this shit.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Take it from me, Ice. You can't just float around space not caring about stuff forever.
The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Shit in the bag, Pogue.
Nothing feels the same. Left it all behind.
I am here determined to stop this future atrocity.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
And we're back. Man, I hope you guys had a good break. I hit the head, refill my cup right quick, and get back. On the line right now, I should say in the green room, ready to go. I got wow, shit! I didn't realize that. Buck and Chuck from Stop Soldier Suicide. What's going on, gentlemen?
Hey, Ken, how are you? Thanks for having us.
Oh man, this is so cool. All right, so real quick, I want you guys to know that if you want to ask the questions or you want to drop them in there or talk about any of the technologies we're going to be discussing, feel free to drop them in the chats. And, Chuck or Buck Waid or Chuck Eastman will be able to discuss and bring up all, whatever discussions you got. So it's real easy. I want to thank you guys for hanging out real quick. And thank you guys so much for coming on here to discuss it's a serious discussion. There's no soft end to do it. So I'll just go ahead and let you guys, go ahead and talk and let us know. Tell us about your organization. First tell us about yourselves, and then tell us about your organization.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Thank you, Ken. I'm Buck Waid. I'm the community affairs manager with Stop Soldier Suicide. I've been here for about 4 months with this organization. I'm an Army veteran. I'll hit 20 years in May. I'm a field artillery officer. So happy to be here. I'll give you a quick overview of what Stop Soldier Suicide is, really starting with, like you said, Ken, the problem that everyone recognizes, and I'll also just give some feedback on what Stop Soldier Suicide, my organization, is actively doing to try to address the problem. And then finally kind of leave before we turn it over for questions and comments for what that means for veterans right now. So first, the problem that we have, there's no secret that there's a robust veteran suicide issue in this country. No one denies it. Everyone knows about it. The numbers are quite staggering. I didn't know about them until I started with this organization. Veterans in this country are 57% more likely to die by suicide than our civilian counterparts. Since 2001, 125,000 veterans have died by suicide. If that trend continues, and we can't find a way to disrupt it or change it, by 2030, we're looking at 50,000 more veterans who will die by suicide. And all said and done, that number will eclipse the total number of combat deaths in Iraq and Afghanistan combined by 23, 23 times more. It'll also come at the cost of about $230 billion in public funding. So there's much at stake here, not just for altruistic reasons, because we want to help each other out. There's many reasons how we got here. The litany of ambiguity can go on forever for why veterans die by suicide at a greater rate. What we do know for sure is that there are systemic failures in the traditional suicide reduction model, specifically when it deals with veterans. And there's really three that we've identified. The first is latent and oftentimes inaccurate data. So agencies that deal in the space of veteran suicide have a hard time finding and targeting veterans that are at higher risk of suicide because that data is off. The second is a lack of focus. There's 20 million American veterans, and even though the number is high, 6,000 to 6,500 per year die by suicide, which is a very small fraction of the total veteran population. So organizations in all sorts of spaces, even the VA, has to focus on the entire litany of veterans issues, and they simply cannot focus solely on suicide. So it doesn't mean that suicide is not a priority for organizations like the VA. It just means it's not their only priority, and they can't laser focus. So that causes a problem. The third and final issue is really just ineffective services. The traditional model is based on sort of a one-size-fits-all cookie-cutter model. It's particularly designed for civilians. It doesn't play particularly well with the trauma-informed care that we do. And it's also very bureaucratic and it's hard to access. And anyone who's dealt with the VA, and I love the VA, I think it's a great full-service provider, can be very challenging to deal with. And even navigating those layers of bureaucracy can add to the stress that could even heighten the risk of suicide for an individual veteran. So that's kind of the problem that we're dealing with as a country, and how Stop Soldier Suicide is actively fighting this problem is in a number of ways. We started in 2010. 3 Army veterans who served together in Afghanistan around 2007. They were all in the Korengal Valley, and they firsthand observed some of the most intense and deadly combat that this country's seen really since Vietnam. And they did it day in, day out for the duration of that deployment. When they came home, within 6 months, more of their comrades in their unit had died by suicide than had died by combat for that entire deployment. So they recognized that something was wrong, so they sought out to do something, these 3 individuals. At first, they went and bought their own 1-800 number and basically started their own ad hoc 24-hour service line. And that's where they identified those 3 issues: latent data, a lack of focus for the services available, and of course, ineffective services. So they sought out to do more, and they founded Stop Soldier Suicide. Around 2010, 2011, it started off as a think tank, really just to identify the problem, delve deeper into it, and come up with solutions for how to work forward. Well, fast forward over a couple decades, and by 2018, Stop Soldier Suicide had morphed and evolved into basically a full-service healthcare provider for veterans in crisis, those at heightened risk of suicide. So today we have 30 full-time wellness coordinators. We call them wellness coordinators, but they're licensed therapists. They focus solely on veteran suicide. That's all they do. They don't see anyone else. They use evidence-based strategies to specifically deal with suicide on an individual basis. So each veteran comes in with his or her own situation, and with that wellness coordinator works through an individual plan. Since we've been doing that, since 2018, we've seen over 4,000 veterans as clients. Even though they pay nothing, we call them clients. And of that 4,000, we haven't lost a single one to suicide. So this system works. This system definitely works. Our mission, our intent, is to reduce veteran suicide by 40% by 2030. It's a disruption campaign. It's disruption because we're not going to eliminate it. Unfortunately, we know this problem is going to persist. Once we reduce it by 40%, that's going to save about 17,000 lives, and all that does is get us pretty close to the civilian rate. But we're going to get there, and we're fighting through that. What we also do, which is pretty unique, and I know you'll ask about this, Ken, is we used enhanced data insights to find and locate veterans at risk. We use the same type of technology that big businesses do to find their target markets, and we used strategic marketing campaigns to find the veterans. We go where they are instead of simply opening our doors and saying there's a problem, come to us. So we find them. That's one of the reasons we're here tonight.
Right. You're real quick. I'm gonna pull ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up your website right there because I was looking at the at your. This is your plan. I mean, this right here looks like this is the plan that you guys laid out. And like you were saying, nothing's cookie cutter. Can you walk us through the plans that I have highlighted up here on the dots, which each one does? I mean, what process you guys go through? Well, I guess you'd say once you get intake, I guess.
Yeah, Chuck, do you want to talk through that one, or I can hit that?
Sure can. So I can't necessarily see the dots that you have up on the screen, but I can talk you through the process that veterans will go through.
Real quick, Chuck. You got to tell us about yourself, man.
Sure. So actually worked together, and I retired out of the 160th as an age 6 Little Bird pilot. Buck was actually one of my FSOs.
Oh, awesome.
So when Buck and I got connected, I said, "Dude, you've got to join this team. It's amazing." And we're super happy to have him on board. I did a variety of things in the Army. Started out in the Ranger Regiment, went to JSOC for a few years, flew Apaches for a while, and then retired as a Little Bird pilot. I discovered Stop Soldier Suicide after a stint doing business development with L3 Harris. Spent a ton of time on the road and just wasn't getting the fulfillment and the sense of purpose that I was on active duty, which is not uncommon for a lot of veterans that are searching for a new purpose.
Oh, yeah.
And I got connected to one of the co-founders, one of the guys that was in the Korengal for 15 months. And he described what Stop Soldier Suicide was doing, how we were doing it, and what the vision and the mission was. And I said, "Nick, I have no idea what you have available for me, but I want to be part of the team." And that was, it took 6 or 9 months, about 9 months for them to create a position. But I knew it was important enough for me to get on board. That was 3 years ago.
Awesome.
So I have, March of this year will be 3 years for me. I don't take, any career that I have done lightly, and I wouldn't just stick around if it wasn't working. Like Buck said, 4,000 veterans that we know, going back to the NDI, the NVDRS, that's the National Violent Death Reporting System, and the National Death Index. We know that we have saved, the 4,000 clients had. So it's exceptionally important for me to be part of this organization, and I really appreciate the time that you've given us tonight.
No, we thank. I'm gonna tell you guys right now. We thank you for this. This is what a lot of veterans need to hear, specifically with since the GWAT being drawn out and done. I guess you would say there's a couple decades of OIF and OEF veterans that are just out there that need the help. So real quick. So go back to the question with I got the one-on-one assessment, veteran care, veteran center action plan, individuals tools, and follow-up care. I have it up right there on the screen right now, so that way the audience can see it. What can you go ahead, just for example, just go ahead, just take a walk through each of the processes.
Absolutely. Yeah. So there's really 3 main avenues that a veteran can get connected with us. The first being our 24/7 crisis line. That's manned by a trained crisis center that a veteran can reach 24/7. That was really one of our biggest hurdles, but the one of the most important things that we wanted to be able to accomplish, because we know that crisis doesn't happen 9 to 5. We wanted to be there 24/7, and it was a challenge, but we were able to figure it out. So the 24/7 crisis line, they can call and they will get a very brief suicide risk assessment to determine if they're an imminent crisis. So if they're an imminent crisis, then they'll get connected with the appropriate facilities, whether it be a mobile crisis team or 911 as the last resort. Otherwise than that, they will take down basic contact information, and then within 24 hours or 24 business hours, one of our scheduling will reach out to them, and working off their schedule and their preference for when and how we contact them, because suicide, like you said, has an associated stigma with it. So some people don't want their spouse to know that they're contacting us. So they will set up a time and they will make that initial call with the wellness coordinator. The wellness coordinator will do an initial risk assessment and screening for risk. They'll develop a crisis response plan, and then they'll develop a plan based off of that. So depending on risk, depending on previous actions, they'll develop a plan from that. The second way is through our website. If you go to stopsoldiersuicide.org, there's a big red button under the upper right-hand corner that says Get Help. There's two options there. It'll say for yourself or for someone else. If you click for yourself, it'll ask you a few demographic questions, contact information, the best way to contact you, what are your primary concerns. And then once you hit submit, you'll get a call back within 15 minutes from that same crisis call center that I mentioned earlier.
Right.
So that's really to make sure that we're not losing anybody through the cracks. We hear it all too often that veterans reach out through the VA, through other nonprofits or whomever, and they fall through. There's a lag in the connection time frame. And then they do the exact same process, the scheduling, the risk assessment, all that stuff. And then the third option is a third-party referral. So if you're a spouse or a loved one or a family member that's concerned about a veteran in your life, you can click the third-party option. And based off of privacy requirements, we can't proactively reach out to a veteran just because a spouse says that they're at risk for suicide, right? You can imagine how that goes if it's a disgruntled spouse and says, my husband or wife is at risk for suicide, and then we call them proactively without their consent, and they say, "What are you talking about?"
Right,
I never
right.
called you.
Right.
So we make sure we get their consent one way or another. So like if we're talking with their spouse, say, can we talk to your loved one? Can we get their consent? And if we can't, long process of giving them information of, hey, here's some of the risk factors, here's some of the warning signs, here are some of the things you can consider, here's some of the things you can do to protect them in the meantime. And then as they work through it with their loved one and we get their consent, then it becomes the same as the other process. They become a client of ours, dependent upon their risk factors, previous history of suicidal ideations, behaviors. They go through one of our multiple evidence-based tracks. That's all. It's all thoroughly backed by science, and our scientific advisory committee has helped put it together. And we tailor our plan to them. Like Buck said, we don't have a cookie cutter plan. We meet the veteran where they are. And that's very important for us to meet them where they are. And the average time that a client is on or receiving services is about 8.6 months. So we're 100% free, 100% confidential, and we'll serve any veteran regardless of discharge status or period served. And we'll stay with them as long as possible. And any veteran can come back to us as well. During the fall of Afghanistan, we had almost 30 veterans come back to us in crisis. As so many veterans that are probably listening to your show right now, that was a huge turning point for so many veterans that have served in Afghanistan and have fought over there to see that happen. It really put a lot of people on their backside. They didn't know what to do. So we had previous clients come back, and that's always a promise we give. And they never pay a dime. And it's just, after 3 years of this, it's just so inspiring to see the difference we make, the lives we change, and literally the lives that we're saving.
No, I agree. It's, I mean, the one key thing that people are saying, hey, look, this is, we've got comments already in the chat saying this is good shit. This is, I mean, this is going to hear it from a veteran's perspective, so you're going to hear it that way. Reach out if you need help. This sounds convoluted because it's bureaucracy, but it really isn't when you reach out. So it's one thing I want the audience, a lot of the audience frustration with the veterans is that you hear about individuals taking their own lives in a parking lot because some of the processes kind of scares them. Do you guys get that kind of, at first, get that a little bit of resistance when someone calls you?
I think all veterans are a bit apprehensive of that anyway, just based off the types of systems we've had to deal with. Chuck and I, we're both clients of the VA, and we've both dealt with that. Not to knock the VA, I really do think it's a great organization and provides world-class care. It's just, it's dealing with, what is perhaps the most challenging healthcare problem set in the country and perhaps the world. It's beholden to budgets, it's beholden to politics. We are not. So yeah, I can see, with all of the organizations that I've dealt with as a veteran, even from active duty, your first suspicion is that it's going to be a labyrinth of bureaucracy to how to navigate how to get to the right person.
Right.
And that's the red tape that we cut. So that's the first, and from my perspective, that's the most beneficial thing, because we all have struggles, and the last thing you want to do for someone who's in, perhaps even a situation of peril, is to add more bureaucracy and more paperwork and more red tape and more lines to wait in, whether on the phone or in person or through paperwork.
Now, the earlier scenario of getting a loved one's consent, does that mean that, like you said, you treat the family member as a client? Does that help as well? Have you seen anything paying off? Have you seen a payoff with involving the family member as well?
Yeah, it 100% pays off to get a buy-in from the family, but it totally differs from veteran to veteran.
Gotcha.
Like, I mean, the word suicide has a huge amount of stigma to it. Right. So if there's some veterans that don't want their family members to know, so they're very secretive about, hey, I want to be contacted between these hours or at this time, and that's okay. We'll meet them where they want to be. But if we can get the buy-in and have a bit of a support structure that's kind of built in to their life and their surrounding, then that's a win. Like our clinical director always talks about a biopsychosocial approach to dealing with the veterans. So if we can have that, that social circle, the one out of the three in the Venn diagram, solid,
Mhm.
then we can focus on dealing with the other two.
Right.
So having family members buy-in is huge, but we don't have it for everyone, and that's okay. It's an individual thing. There's the stigma with it, unfortunately, but I think we're making huge headway in that. So that that's the conversation that more people are willing to have these days.
Right. Especially just reaching out. I mean, that right
Mhm.
there is, for some, that's a bigger step than jumping out of an airplane sometimes to them,
Totally.
that just
Sure.
reaching out to begin with. And sometimes individuals, and I have friends that reached out to me, or hell, even when I want to vent or whatever, in a subtle way, we all have veterans have our own way of communicating that without saying I need help. Does that make sense? It's kind of like hey, what you doing? Oh, not good. I'm blah, 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 having time, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. Thanks. Sometimes that in itself is good enough, These statistics that you've discussed earlier, are you involving the Veterans Affairs or any other veteran organizations like the VFW or the other ones to say, hey, look, here's our stats. Here's what we got. Have they used your statistics as well?
Yeah, well, most of the statistics that I cited initially, actually, most of those came from the VA.
Gotcha.
So the VA it is a large pool of statistics. Back in September of 2022, the VA published their annual review, which pretty comprehensively covered veteran suicide trends from 2001 to 2020. What I found already in this space, and I think Chuck will agree, is that no one hides their data. And we're still relatively young in the space compared to the VA that's been doing this for hundreds of years.
Right.
We'll share our data with anyone, and we are actively gathering data all the time, and very uniquely in the digital sphere. And to my knowledge, we're the only ones that are doing that, which is unfortunate, but it's time to do that, particularly based off the younger demographics of veterans who operate. A vast majority, or at least a plurality of their socialization comes over the internet. And, like my kids are very close to military serving age. They text, they communicate on social media, on websites. They don't call each other on the phone. They're not meeting face to face, but we do. And we are engaged at a local level with VFWs and the American Legions. And those are other organizations for the young folks out there in the listening crew is get involved with those, because some of those organizations, unfortunately, just don't have the young blood they need to continue to survive and thrive. And they're part of the team just like we are. Those older Vietnam guys, we can learn a lot from them.
Oh, yeah,
and they have maintained that brotherhood throughout. And for some of us from the OIF, OEF generation, we simply didn't. We walked away from service in the uniform, and we kind of said, well, I'm done with that. And then after a while, you kind of gravitate back, and you want to be around your people. And like it or not, we're forever tied to each other. We're bonded as brothers and sisters forever. And I think we all know that and recognize that.
Oh yeah. Specifically, like just all of us talking right now, all of us veterans, like I'm a veteran, you're a veteran. We're all veterans talking about this discussion. And it's like, we just can't leave it. It's almost like to get ahead of it is more important than, I guess you would say, the gig itself. Well, you know, the stats that you guys have, you also, and I'm going to get into this to the project that also uses AI. Fascinating. I saw the NBC News write up. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull it up for the audience, and we could talk it. It's, you guys, it won't be sound on, but we could just talk it and all that. But it's going to be about what do they call it? It's Project Black Box. Is that what you guys call it?
Yep. Right.
Okay. Can you this is the postmortem. This is the this is the thing that people don't like to talk about. The veteran has taken their life, and now this is a black box, I guess you would say, of their lives. I guess it's Chuck that's got the more deets on that. Can you give us a little bit of just a whole, I guess, wave top, or where you can get knee deep in the weeds about the black box AI?
Don't threaten me, Ken. I'll talk about it all night.
You got plenty of time. Come on, I'm the boss too, so whatever.
No, Ken, I always like to describe black box as, prior to the 1950s, if a commercial airliner crashed and there was no survivors and there was no witnesses, you were at the mercy of an aircraft investigator to determine what the cause of the accident was, right?
Right.
They were putting pieces back together. They were getting weather reports. They were trying to see if there were witnesses, but it was just that one person or a team. But in the advent of the black box, which is a cockpit voice recorder and a flight data recorder, we were able to recreate the final seconds, minutes, and hours leading up to a crash. And we were able to put that crash back together, and we were able to learn what caused the crash. What were some key factors? What were some breakdowns in the communication? What were breakdowns in the system? What were some trends that no one had been looking at before? And we apply the same concept to our black box project by using the same open source technology as you see on the screen there. We collect devices from veterans that have unfortunately died by suicide, or we collect the devices from the families that donate or lend us, their devices, and using open source intelligence techniques to extract the data from the devices. And we've partnered with AWS to use the world's cutting edge AI and ML to recreate the final seconds, minutes, hours, and up to a year of the veteran's life that has died by suicide. So that, part of that is SEMN analysis. So any outgoing text messages, emails, and that was we kind of had to customize that for veterans because the sentiment analysis software didn't like the F-bomb, but veterans tend to speak in the F-bomb.
You don't
so
say.
we were trying to paint a picture of a good day versus a bad day for a veteran.
Right.
Based off the communication, and the sentiment analysis software was like, no, they're having a bad day because they use the F-bomb with their friend. So we had to kind of customize the software for veterans to have a better understanding. And then so we extract all the data, we upload it into a data cloud, and Amazon and their data team does their magic. So far, we have a little over 50 families and nearly 100 devices with about 12 terabytes of data. So that is, nobody else has that. And the most exciting thing about it is that up to this point, for suicide prevention research, there are these things called psychological autopsies. So it has a very somber sound to it. But there's teams that come to families that have lost a loved one to suicide, and they'll ask questions about, were there any signs that led you to think they might be at risk? Were there any indications? Were there any notes or emails or anything like that? But if you think about that, that's the outward facing persona of the veteran. That's what they wanted their family and friends to think. That's what they wanted their family and friends to know. But if you start looking at the digital footprint, you can really look at their inward facing persona of what were they thinking? What were they searching at 3 a.m. on their cell phone? We've already found that there's a connection between insomnia and the days leading up to a suicide. That, if someone's working a 9 to 5 job and then they're searching on their web phone or their phone on the web from 1 in the morning till 5 in the morning, and they're only getting a few hours of sleep a night, and that, the 3 days leading up to a suicide, that's like definitive evidence that psychologists can, speculate. Yeah, that makes sense. That's natural. You have a mental breakdown and, everything starts going sideways, but we have definitive proof. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, we are just now getting up and running with this project, and it is so exciting because it's not, we're a veteran facing organization. We are specifically about veteran suicide, but this project really has an opportunity to impact so many more lives. Like if we take the lessons learned and we take the approach that we did for veterans and we can apply it for teens, we can apply it for first responders, for medical professional, LGBTQ, whatever it may be, there may be a learning process and it may take a little bit of time, but that's part of it. And we can get to a point that we're not saying we're going to predict suicide, because just like a black box in an airplane doesn't prevent accidents,
right?
Accidents still happen, right? I mean,
Right.
Planes still crash, but we can still learn from those crashes and apply those lessons learned to other aviation professionals. And we can learn lessons from what we're learning from black box, and we can hopefully apply that in either technological way from a software development kit that is part of an app that we can monitor behaviors or trends, or just from evidence or from a research basis. Like, what are we learning that no one has seen before? So from a technological standpoint, I find it extremely exciting. Like it's exactly what I did for most of my career in special operations. It was going to objectives, taking phones, devices, computers, recreating patterns of life, and then applying that pattern of life to figure out where the next bad guy is going to be.
We call
You
that
figure out where the
we
IDs
call
are.
that SSE, sensitive site exploitation, and that's
Exactly.
that's
We use the exact same software. So
Yeah.
Cellbrite, Magna
Yeah.
Forensics, all the
Yeah.
stuff that we used overseas on SSE is the same software we're using to extract the data. So it's one of a kind, and it's really exciting. And I say this from a technological standpoint. Like I said, it's very exciting. But the most important thing that we have to be careful of and be mindful of is that it's way more than technology.
Right.
There are families attached to this, and we have gone above and beyond to make sure that we take care of the families from the very first interaction to years beyond. We consider it a white glove service. We pay for all the shipping and all the handling for the devices. We make sure we keep them up to date. There's tracking information. We send them updates throughout the process. The timeline varies from 30 to 60 days to sometimes 6 months. Like SSE, you get a device that's locked and it has a pretty secure encryption. It may take a little longer to get that information. So we are very clear with the communication with the family, and they become part of our family. We send them newsletters, we keep them up to date with the project. And we have donor engagement managers that are typically lost survivors themselves. We had a donor engagement manager that lost her husband in Iraq in combat, and we had a donor engagement manager that lost her husband to suicide. So we really try to have a team that is empathetic, can wrap their arms around them, and help them through the process, because it varies greatly from family to family. The timeline, like how soon after a suicide are they willing to have the conversation? What do they want to know? Like, we don't provide information back to the family. Like all the data we provide to the cloud is all de-identified. It's all ones and zeros, because we don't want to provide that family, more trauma by saying, hey, this is something about your loved one you didn't know that we found out. We don't want to go there.
That was one of the questions is how far in the outbrief that you do when you grab this, once you have this information, who gets it first? I mean, you guys keep it in sight, and then do you provide that sensitive data to anybody else, or do you keep it in-house?
We keep it in-house. Okay. So Ken, the biggest question that any family ever asks about a suicide is why.
Correct. Yeah.
And we can't answer that why for them. We can't think for a second that we have the capability to answer why. But what we provide the families is the ability to help other families not to have to ask the question why. Any little bit that they can do anything that they can offer, to further this project along. There was from our previous donor engagement manager, that she sent me a picture the other day of a couple families at a TAPS event that they're both black box donor families. They met coincidentally at a TAPS event, and like the screen right here, this is Sarah. She lost her husband a few years ago, and Sarah's she's one of our family now. But we treat them like family, and we take care of them. So it's really an important aspect of this project that I try not to get too far ahead of my skis and get excited about the technology.
Right.
And we're lucky to have people on our team that tell me to take a step back and say, these are families and this is what they're going through. And we just have to be very mindful of that. So it's super exciting. And I think it's a ton of potential.
One of the things that I'm glad you guys said that you guys keep it in-house, because it's almost like I don't want to say that nefarious characters would use their information to exploit it. That's why I was asking, because I know there's, like you said, the why is the part that gets everybody, like you said, that gets ahead of their skis, asking why. When you do the outbrief, what types of information do you provide? What is it that you provide the family member?
We don't provide an outbrief.
Okay.
Like we say that up front, like we will not tell you anything that we get from this device. We're literally getting ones and zeros.
Gotcha.
And we upload those ones and zeros to a data cloud, and it's 100% de-identified. Like we don't even have a database.
Gotcha. Okay.
We don't have an idea of like this phone provided this information or this phone contained this timeline. It's 100% de-identified.
That's awesome. Well, because then it could, like a family member could say, was it something I could have said, or was it something that I did say?
Exactly.
That would come back. Yeah. And that would, yeah. Okay. Again, it was just curious, and not to say anything about the TTP. I'm just making sure they just, because everyone's like, who gets this information? Who gets this? Now from that data, then what's next? What happens after that? What happens after that data is sent up, and what is it? What's its purpose?
Well, I mean, from there, they apply the machine learning and AI. Like I said, we have about 12 terabytes of data so far that Amazon has been able to do their machine learning and AI. And we're looking for trends. We're looking for, keywords, website searched. Are there any trends that they're going? People have their assumptions of what websites they're going to and what they're doing at 3 a.m. on a phone, but that's just an assumption. So this is like definitive data that is directly tying back to events leading up to a suicide. So if we can get to the point of figuring out these key identifiers and these key trends and behaviors that we've theorized up to this point, and through a ton of research and very, very smart people that have conducted years and years of research on this, we're now able to connect those dots. There's some dots that were unconnected before from theory or, from best guesses or from research, but now we're able to definitively connect those dots.
What have you seen from the trends? What's if you can give an example, what's the main trend?
So an trend as an example is insomnia.
Gotcha.
So the 3 to 4 days leading up to a suicide, there are trends that would suggest that insomnia is not uncommon. So they're getting a few hours of sleep a night. Anybody that's been through SEER school can tell you that, getting an hour or two of sleep a night will make you kind of loopy after a couple days. Yeah. You throw in a few other factors, whether it be substance abuse or stressors from family life or marriage or finances, it all starts to compound. So it's just one of those indicators that, psychologists will tell you like, oh yeah, of course we knew that insomnia was a risk for suicide. Like, well, we can show you now definitively on a device that these X number of veterans that have died by suicide had insomnia as a problem. And, sleep issues is not a huge shocker for most veterans out there.
Right.
Whether it be from sleep apnea or from PTSD, nightmares, or whatever it may be, sleep is not an uncommon indicator. But it's just one of those things that's an educational piece that, loved ones can look each other in the mirror and say, hey, I'm having some really bad sleep these days. Or a spouse notices, hey, you haven't been sleeping much. Are you okay?
Right.
So it's just one of those indicators.
there's along with that. So you got that information. I mean, it's a, for me, I think it's, I don't want to say, yeah, it is kind of a touchy subject because you don't want to upset the family. You don't want to upset the veteran's legacy. That once this information's done and I guess you would say uploaded or whatever, do you provide those trends to the VA? Does the VA say, hey, you guys are collecting this stuff. Can you give us a little, do you guys have any partnerships with the VA in discussion with them?
So officially, no.
Gotcha.
There is a upcoming announcement within a week or so that may provide some more information on that.
Okay.
We have a massive amount of information, or not a massive amount of information, massive amount of data that people like the VA are clamoring to get and have insight on. So there's an opportunity. There's always an opportunity for us to partner and to work with other organizations. We are very careful to not be like beholden to an organization. Like we don't receive funding that would make us beholden to the DoD or the VA or whomever. Any sort of grants or funding like that still gives us enough flexibility to do what we determine is best for the veteran.
Gotcha.
But there's a new sense of interest and urgency with what we have in the project that within the next week or two, it'll become pretty clear the level of interest that other organizations have.
Now, there aside from the veterans, I mean, has the Army, has the military, the DoD asked or has, you know what I mean? I don't want to say, is this part of the big announcement? Is this
no?
Okay.
It is not. No.
Okay, I don't want to like leak something that shouldn't have been or asked about leaking something, but so has the DoD expressed the interest in this? Have they say, hey guys, yeah, let's
So the DoD has not explicitly expressed interest in this project.
Gotcha.
And I can't definitively say why. They have their processes. I mean, if there's a suicide with active duty, the device goes to CID. CID does their analysis. They do their own psychological autopsies. They do their own 15-6, and then they close the case and they give the devices back to the families. I would hope that at some point DoD would get an interest. But some of the struggles I've had, like I deal specifically with partnerships with other organizations that can help further our mission. I worked with battalion commanders, brigade commanders, division commanders. We brief the sergeant major of the Army, and they all have a universal interest in what we're doing in our solution for suicide prevention. But it's so difficult to tackle this problem at the active duty level, if you will. I don't want to say active duty level, but at the chain of command level, if you will, because they have an interest, they want to save lives, they know what we're doing is working, but then they have missions. They have to maintain a warfighting force. They have priorities, and then every 3 years they change command. So it's like it's a cyclical process of like you find somebody that's interested, then it all gets ramped up, and then you get the new command team in, and then you literally start from scratch. So it's funny you say that because we were speaking with Defense Suicide Prevention Office this week. So we're hoping to have that conversation of how can we broaden our efforts to help DoD as a whole, because DoD has its own challenges from reporting requirements, and for security clearances, and like for me, I was an aviator for flight status, or anybody in intelligence communities that have a super high security clearance, there are implications. And DoD says that it won't, but there are like 25-meter implications. You can survive the implications at 300 meters. Your career will recover, but that's tough to tell the average guy or gal that they can just report whatever they want and their career will go unscathed. So we're hoping to have that conversation pretty soon.
That's good. At least that's good to hear that that leadership in that side of the house has expressed interest.
Yes,
because that makes it. I mean, because they somebody just said it's a nightmare. That sounds like a fucking nightmare just to go through the wickets of getting that out. getting that information. I mean, I'm sure that they're aware of it, and the Sergeant Major of the Army is aware of it. I know he talks about it a lot. But I just think that that AI portion of it, is there any, what's going to happen? What's going to be the way ahead for this AI for the Black Box project? Is it going to evolve, or you're just getting started, or what's the status of the program so far?
We are really just getting started. We had probably a 2-year ramp up period. Their chief technology officer used similar technology for counter human trafficking. So he was able to predict, patterns of life, for, like we did overseas,
right?
Patterns of life, patterns in general. So, he spoke with our CEO probably 3 or 4 years ago, and they came up with this concept, and they thought, well, let's explore this. In the exploration phase, I mean, these licenses to use, a Cellbrite or Magna Forensics, they're super expensive.
They are.
Fortunately, we're able to have a great relationship with the organizations, and they're extremely generous that they give us an in-kind license to use Cellbrite or Magna Forensics.
That's awesome.
So it's incredible access that we have to these programs. So it took a little while to show the proof is in the pudding. Once we can show that, the first couple of years, we could really do a deep dive on a few isolated cases and show, hey, these are some trends. These are things that you didn't recognize. These are things that you missed in your psychological autopsy. It really became, it's a whole new opportunity that nobody has explored before.
No, this is new territory. I saw like I said, I saw the NBC News, and I saw it, but it didn't click until Buck, contacted me, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute, these are the same guys. This is AI stuff like that. To me, it's just fascinating to explore. Some people are scared of it. Some people are, I'm kind of like poking the bear. Let's see what happens if you do make the bear do this or make the bear do that. I want to see more. You know what I mean? I want to see. It's almost like the possibilities are endless with Black Box. To me, it's just fascinating.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I think from my experience, even in the military, Chuck obviously knows significantly more about Black Box here, but through my experience, my first deployment was 2005, and most of our targeting was imminent and human based in 2005. And toward the end, my last deployment in 2011, it was almost entirely SIGINT, because we had evolved as, obviously then active duty, to a point where we recognized the value in that. And so, organizations as big and cumbersome as DoD can embrace it. And the for-profit space has embraced this concept of SSC for a very long time, and the AI learning,
right,
and
exactly.
machine learning, and they use it very effectively, and it does in fact work.
That's awesome to hear. Okay, so let's talk about you guys talking about you guys are hiring. I'm seeing some stuff your way. Matter of fact, I'm gonna drop. As we've been talking, I've been dropping numbers and links in the chats and all that. So everybody's I already dropped right now. I'm dropping the career stuff. What do you guys need? What do you guys need from the veteran community for? What do you need help with? You guys work on donations.
We do.
You do? Okay. And so right now it's like right now I just put the careers link in the chats. Who are you looking for? What are you looking for specifically?
Whew. We are scaling as fast as we can.
Gotcha.
So primarily wellness coordination teams. Like, they are the ones that are the front line. They're the ones that are answering the call and having the direct service with the veterans. And they're the ones that are allowing us to expand our clinical coverage to other states that we may not have a clinical coverage or licensure in that team or in that state. So that's really the most important from a mission standpoint. But we're very technologically and data based. So you may see we're looking for like a Salesforce administrator or a data analytics team, or it really varies from like week to week. I'm just always amazed at the people that we're hiring. They're just such talent. But yeah, the wellness coordination team, so probably master's level licensed clinical social workers, or master social workers. That's probably the one thing that never slows down for us. It's just a constant hiring effort. It's a heavy job though, as you can imagine. I mean, these people are on the front lines speaking with suicidal veterans all day,
Right.
every day.
Right.
So there's an associated churn, which is not unusual for this career field. You know, and we're being very strategic in where we hire and how we hire, and hiring the right people for our team. It's just, you know, we're expanding. As our CEO says, we set the mission, they set the pace, or we set the vision, they set the pace, right? So our mission is to reduce veteran suicide to civilian parity by 2030. I am a firm believer that what we're doing can and is doing that, but we can only do that if we grow to the extent that we can serve that many veterans. You know, we are literally saving lives with what we're doing.
Right.
But, you know, there's a limiting factor there, and that's just the number of people. So the faster we can get those people on our team, the faster we can meet our mission.
I'm dropping I'm going to drop the donate link in the chats too, so that way everybody can drop you guys can drop some money in here. You can give once monthly. I'm not trying to make it sound like my AAR. I have, because normally for the show I always kind of brag to the kids that I'm still retired. Even though I'm retired, I still drop some money to AAR to help the kids out. So I also dropped a link in there. You guys can give once, or you can give monthly, and you can give all the way up to $150 a month, or you can donate. You know, you can do another amount. So
and along those lines, Ken, I would highly encourage they follow us on Facebook too. So we have a very robust Facebook page that involves challenges. The pandemic was really kind of a breakthrough for us for some of our challenges and our fundraising on Facebook. So there's opportunities for people to start their own DIY fundraisers. There's Facebook fundraising challenges that they can do. They can compete against other states.
Yeah, we got your Facebook page tagged in the post to include your Twitter account. So
perfect.
I'm your friendly neighborhood PSYOP guy, just ensuring that the message gets out. You know what I mean? Just pointing the loudspeaker where you want me to point it. Speaking of which, you guys have given away a PC, a gaming PC. But hang on, let me pop that up there. I saw.
We are.
Yeah.
It's gonna be one of our,
I'm sorry. Wait,
one of our engagement campaigns.
I
want to. I'll try to win that.
I'm about to say, was I not supposed to say anything? There we go. There we go. You guys are teaming up with Regiment.
All right.
And Paradox Customs to 30 hours of gaming challenge from starting on the 2/17 to 2/24. So from the 17th to the 24th of February, you guys are going to be doing a gaming challenge. When we're done, I'll link you up with our. We have WTF Nation also has a gaming guys. We have gaming guys.
Perfect.
Right, yeah.
And so
that's the brainchildren of one of our marketing guys, Colby, who came up with that. He engages. He puts together a lot of the group runs and the challenges, and this was a great idea.
It's the kids. It's the kids that get it. You know what I mean? They're the ones.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, I'm a kid at heart. When I see some of this stuff, I'm like, man, I wish I had some of these. I wish we had games like this, and so that way I can jump on there too. So check out their Facebook page. Also, you guys got a Twitter account. You guys got all your socials up. I'm looking at all your Instagram. You guys are on LinkedIn as well. Again, I dropped the number in there, and I also dropped a link to donate, and also careers, yada yada. Gentlemen, God, thanks again so much.
Thank you, Ken. Appreciate it.
This has been this has been awesome.
It's been a real pleasure, Ken. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, we could go longer, but everyone's got things to do, and I got other hosts and staff like, okay, come on, wrap it up. No, just kidding.
Yep. You're getting the red light already, yeah.
But hey, guys, again, this is Buck Waid and Chuck Eastman from Stop Soldier Suicide. I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna take a break, and then I'm gonna shoot the shit with them in the green room for a little bit, and then so everyone refill your glasses, and you guys got anything you want to say right quick before we go?
Hey, listen, if you're in need, if you're struggling, we're veterans. We've all been there. You can reach out. You could be a client within 24 hours.
Yeah, I would echo that I trust what we're doing enough that I would refer a family member. I have referred friends. I would become a client myself if I needed it, and I trust it that much. So that's the biggest challenge, is to get past that barrier of entry. But it's just like in CQB, once you get past the breach, it just flow through.
Yep, exactly. And if you trip and fall, don't worry, we'll walk up and pick you up.
Yep.
All right, gentlemen. We'll talk to you later. We'll be right back, and we'll go ahead and take a break. So, Shot, stand by.
Take a look inside your life. Is it so bad? Is this where you draw the line? 'Cause it's so nothing at all. And you can fight, you can hide that you're naked. If you bleed, you won't feel it, you won't see me at all. You can fight, you can hide that you're naked. If you bleed, you won't feel it, you won't see me at all. You can fight, you can hide that you're naked.
If that's really a thing, and I get authorized to do it once, it's pretty much gonna be me sitting there talking shit, like, constantly.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Sometimes when I look at, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, I think it's WTF Army or something.
The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
And we're back. Thanks again to Stop Soldier Suicide. Buck Waid, Chuck Eastman. Man, we were blabbing our ears off. Welcome back. That's half of the Monday edition. What else we got going on? If you guys enjoyed the show, again, if you guys need any assistance or something like that, of course, hit those links. More than happy to pass that information and dial that number if you need help. Don't hold that shit in. If you want to talk to somebody, you need to talk to somebody. Make sure you pass that link around too. I think I don't know if your shipwreck is going to come back or not. If he comes back, he comes back. If not, whatever. Let's see. What do we got going on? I think we're supposed to be doing. I think we got a housekeeping going on right now. Got to look at the calendar and stuff like that. Hang on. All right. Oh, so again, that was Buck Waid and Chuck Eastman joining us from Stop Soldier Suicide. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. This again, great interview. I like anything that has to do with data tech like that to help veterans. To me, I think it's awesome. Tomorrow, tomorrow's Pop Culture War. I think he's got a guest. I don't think he has one yet. Does he? I think he's but tomorrow's Valentine's Day. So make sure you don't forget to, and also Valentine's Day is falling on Taco Tuesday. That's what I'm talking about. Hell yeah. Buy your significant other or side piece some fucking tacos. Yeah, I said it. Anyways, I shouldn't say that. I should say buy your Valentine. Buy your Valentine tacos. Tacos are kind of solid, of course. And some Tecate that usually hits the spot. So make sure you don't forget, if you have whatever significant other or whatever, if you have, I should blow up Valentine's like that, but to me, I think it's too commercialized. Every day should be like Valentine's Day. You should be treating the one you care about the most like that every day, no matter what. So, Pop Culture Warriors tomorrow. We have he's going to be talking about. He's been busy. He was at the Fairport convention. He's going to be probably talking about all the drama going on with the Flash, and then also the what else did he do? He did Super Bowl things. The Super Bowl's done, I guess. We could just say that shit. And he's probably going to talk about that with him and his rotating guest host. And then the crew from Extra Duty Podcast is going to be joining the Smoke Pit on Wednesday. Joining TZ and Radar. Smoke, Milk Stud, and Lieutenant Dan. That's who. They were guests before on Sergeant's Time. And we were shooting the breeze, talking about what they do at the E4 level, Joe level, Buck Sergeant level, rubber meets the road level. I think this is the perfect venue for them to come on and shoot the breeze with the Smoke Pit to get that squad leader, platoon sergeant, squad leader, team leader discussion. And then, of course, Sergeant's Time's on Thursday with myself. And I'm working on a command. There's a command out there in discussions trying to go through legal stuff for a military public affairs broadcaster, rotating guest host, just like how CQ is doing it for Sergeant's Time. So we can just talk about sergeants and sergeanting and NCO stuff and Army stuff. So there's people out there. I cast the hook and let me see what I could reel in. And then, of course, Friday Night Freedom with Kaz and Pookie. On Friday, that's why they call it Friday Night Freedom. And then Saturday's a day off. Again, we're working on that show too. There's a show getting built up. Man, we've been busy. Then we'll be broadcasting 7 days a week. But then until then, you're going to have to deal with the Sunday show, the sports bar with King, the actual King Smith and the coach. Hey, what's up, Chocolate? I didn't see you in there, man. So there I was buying a new telescope to get my own glimpse of China's finest. Which one? Did you see the blog one about the all-female balloon team? And then, we got President's Day. I think it's a 4-day weekend, right? I know some of the soldiers out there get a 4-day weekend for President's Day, which is the 17th to the 20th. If you didn't get it, then, hey, you might have to train or something like that. It might have to be Ivan or something like that. I don't know. President's Day weekend. And then on the 21st, Pop Culture Warrior. I think I'm gonna air. Yeah, I'll be on air on the 21st. And then Ashley Gutermuth is going to be Pop Culture Warrior. She is she's the spouse of a military member who also brings awareness to food insecurity and all that. It's a stand-up comedian too. And then who else we got? We got no more operations until the 24th, and then we have Ryan Reaver. I served with Ryan Reaver in the 1st Armor Division. Great guy. Also country music singer, so he's going to be on to shoot the shit. Can't wait to see him again. And then what else we got? And let's see, close out the end of the month with Mike Wingert with Pop Culture Warrior. So we got guests. We got guests coming up. And then let's see, what we got going on for March. March, I'm going to be like on a guest close out. I'm going to be locked out for having guests in March because I'm going to be out and about. Been invited to go do some things. So I'm going to be doing things. So may or may not be, depending on once I find out what these things are and when they're going to be at, where they're going to be at, then I'll let you guys know. What's up, Spanky? I see you. Yeah, been a long time, Spanky. Wanna jump in the chats or something? I'm just kidding. Just messing with you. With that, I think that's it. Unless you guys got something for me, we already covered some of our updates. I already went on my rant about the balloon stuffs and all that, and we're just still waiting for my fellow Americans. My fellow Americans. The balloon shit, this is what we did, blah, 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 blah. I'd have Justin Trudeau do it. So I'm already going to have people sending me hate mail saying that I shouldn't be bashing everybody else. Yeah, you've been watching Yellowstone? Yeah, I've been watching Yellowstone. So, anyways. I think that's it. You all got anything for me? No? Thanks again, Chuck, Eastman, and Buck Waid from Stop Soldier Suicide for hanging out. Appreciate you guys tuning in. And so I think with that, I think we're done. So y'all have a good night and shots. See you.
Hey, this is SEAC retired John Wayne Troxel. You're listening to WTF Nation Radio, the station of choice for all of the badass MFers on the planet.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio. The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place.
To see somebody who's never been around a horse.
Я батько. Я молодший брат. Я водій маршрутки. Я скоро одружуся. Я фанат шахтера.
Начальник отдела продаж.
Я прораб.
Я программист.
Я свидетель на свадьбе. Дядя Юра, таксист. Я вчитель фізкультури.
Я студент-геолог.
У мене своя фірма. Я кращий друг зі школи. Я сусід, який завжди стукає по батареї.
Я єдиний син.
Let's see it.
Got